Hello, my name is Barbara Ward and I'm a Spanish education major at IUP, and I did my project on building vocabulary and concepts to support understanding. Obviously, building vocabulary is very important for students, especially in a Spanish setting, because everything is based off vocabulary. The reading, the writing, and the oral proficiency are going to be based on the vocabulary level of the student. It's important to attempt to build it early. So the way that I've done this is to show for my mini lesson how to make a personal dictionary for each student that they'll receive on the first day of class, and a regular composition book that is normally handed out or provided by the students. If not, these cost roughly 55 cents at the dollar store, and they're a great investment because the student will have an arsenal of great words to refer back to when they're writing prompts or reading through other passages. So what I did was divide this into 3 columns: the word and the context in which it was written, which means how it was found in the passage. Here's what I initially thought it meant before looking it up, and this is a great way because it gives students insight in how to read context clues. That's important before simply just looking it up in a dictionary, because then it won't help them memorize it as efficiently. Then over here is what it actually meant when I looked it up or when the teacher helped me find the definition. So that means you could either ask me in class, or if I'm helping another student, you could simply look it up in your Spanish to English dictionary, and this way you'll be able to write down the correct meaning of the word and see if it is similar to what you had thought it meant. So the first example I have here is La casa es grande. Casa is one of the first words learned in Spanish 1 because they usually learn locations for where they live, things in the classroom, basic nouns like that. So they know that es means is, because ser and a star are also one of the very first concepts covered in Spanish 1, so students know the difference between to be as in physical attributes or to be as in location. And this indicates that it's a physical attribute, so we can infer some things about a house, maybe size or color. We look over here and we say, is this word a cognate? And we can see that grande is very similar to the English word grand. Grand means big or large. So I write down maybe that's what I had thought it meant. Once I look up in the dictionary, I see that grande does mean very big or large, so I would be correct. And this is a great way for students to make positive inferences to back up their support in what they're reading. My next example is a little more complicated because it includes a verb that would be included at the end of the Spanish 1 process. I put quiero encontrar mi lápiz. Querer is a word that's also shown to the students about halfway through Spanish 1, and they know that it means to want. This verb is very common. It will be used throughout the entire Spanish process, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the college level. However, we see encontrar as a new word, and we look at it and we say, does it mean a cognate, and what would I need to do with my pencil? This is a little more difficult because encontrar does mean encounter or to find, but students typically use find before they say encounter. So in hindsight, they look back at this and say it is very similar, and that encourages them to think more outside of the box when thinking of what this word might mean, and that they have to think of a more specific vocabulary. But I decided also that at the end of every week, on a Friday for about 20 minutes, each student can share one word that was very particular to them, if it helped them understand a passage more or if it was repetitive. This word will then be written on the board with its correct definition, and students can copy this entire list into their own personal dictionary on the next page. They can use this dictionary for future passages, quizzes, or if they're at home reading on their own so that they can have a better understanding, because it's better to know a vocabulary word than to skip over it, because that does not help proficiency or advanced level Spanish. This is my idea for building vocabulary. Thank you.